Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to Thinking Out Loud Thursdays with Sonia. That's me, over a cup of coffee, which is right here. So let's get started. So today I want to talk about a habit that we had as kids, but we no longer probably have that habit. Asking questions. So when we were like really young, we hadn't started going to school, and we used to keep running behind our mother or our father or our siblings, keep asking them hundreds of questions. We used to irritate them, but they used to still patiently answer our questions. We were very cute and cuddly, and so they had the fun in us answering our questions, right? Why can't I get that toy? Why do I need to eat this food? I don't like milk. Don't give me milk. Why do I need to drink it? So every time, why is the sun up only in the morning? Why do I need to get up in the morning? Why can't I get up in the night and play? Why can't I go out in the dark? So our questions were never ending because we were such curious souls that we wanted to learn more. We wanted to know more, right? But what happened when we grew up? Suddenly that curiosity, it just shifted gear, and that got replaced by maybe fear. We started fearing that what if we ask this question, we'll look like a fool. We started thinking other people will say, oh, you don't even know the answer of this question? How stupid. Why are you asking such silly questions? Why are you asking so many questions? Are you trying to prove that you are more intelligent by asking a lot of questions? Because a notion is that if you ask question means you're very intelligent. Hello, there's nothing, you should not be fearing about anything because these are your questions. These are not anybody else's questions. So remove the fear, remove any insecurities that you have in mind, and start putting that same hat of being curious again. Buy a cap which says, I'm curious. So just buy that, or buy a t-shirt, I'm curious. Just go out there and start asking questions, because these are your questions in your mind. No one can get into your mind or your brain and say, okay, fine, Sonia has these questions, but she is hesitant in asking. Okay, let me address these questions. We are always those people that we want to always share information, but we don't want to seek for information. So even when we are in the office, okay, fine, we have to make a presentation deck, some quarterly review meeting is happening. So I have to prepare my, because I'm a marketer, I'll talk from marketing perspective. I have to prepare my quarterly marketing insights and I have to present it in the board meeting. So I prepare that, and I prepare for all possible questions that will be asked during that meeting. But if the results are not aligned and I need to seek some clarity, I don't prepare for those questions that I want to get clarity on. So what is happening is I'm preparing myself to share all the information with them, but I'm not preparing myself to get information what is required for me to perform to the fullest. I'm not preparing myself to ask those relevant questions which will help me in my productivity, which will help me enhance my knowledge, which will help me brush up my skills. I'm not looking at that. So in turn, who is losing out? I am the one who's losing out if I'm not going to ask those questions. But by the way, I ask a lot of questions. All my bosses, all my team members, they know I'm a loud person and I ask a lot of questions. But you should know also that what are the type of questions are you asking. So we'll come to this, but is it only because of the fear and insecurity that you're not asking questions, or the reason is something else? Are you a very egoistic person to say that why should I ask? The person should have clarified everything. No, maybe the person has clarified to the best of their capacity or their capabilities, and they would have thought that okay, fine, everybody is understood. But nobody will know what your questions are. So you can't be under that ego, because your ego is going to pull you down. Or you're the kind of person say, I don't care. Hello, you need to care, because it's your job. It's your neck on the line. You have to meet your targets. You have to perform better. You need to grow in life. So you can't have that approach, I don't care. Or you're one of those people who thinking, I'm feeling hungry, the meeting, if I ask questions, the meeting will get lengthy, and okay, let's just cut short the meeting. It happens all the time, no? When you're in a meeting and somebody is asking a lot of questions, you start giving dirty looks to that person. Please, yeah, don't ask so many questions. Why do you want to know? I'll tell you this later. Hello? No, don't listen to those people. Don't actually listen to those people, because they will not have the answers. They are just trying to cut short that meeting. So whatever questions you have, please freely ask those questions. Don't say we are getting bored in the meeting, this doesn't affect us. Be curious to know not just about your own work. Get curious to know where the organization is heading. What is the company's path for the next 5 years? What are the milestones have they set for themselves? How are they going to be achieving that? What is my personal contribution that they're looking at in that journey? So if you're not going to be curious, you will not get to know the larger picture. So if you want to know the larger picture, the deeper insights, what is there in the sea, what are the shells which are there in the sea, then you need to be curious about it. You need to be open for questions that you have in your mind, and you need to write it down and say it. Because many times we have questions and they're just right at the tip of our tongue, but we don't say it. So if you're a very shy person, my advice to you would be that write down all your questions on a piece of paper before you go. I do that most of the time, because there are sometimes, those critical and more sensitive information I forget to ask if you've not written it down. I always do that. I write down the sequence also. You should always ask questions in the sequence of the priority. So if there is very sensitive or critical information that you want to know from the team head or from the leadership, then you should ask those questions first. Because maybe for those normal questions, maybe they can wait till later if the meeting ends quickly. But if the meeting is still continuing on, you can finish all your questions. But at least you would have got the answers for the most critical questions that you have in mind. So follow a sequence. Ask the important questions first. And also, you should know whether you want to ask close-ended questions or open-ended questions. Preferably go for open-ended questions, because then that allows the other person to explain things in a better way, which gives you more clarity. And maybe in that seeking clarity, you have maybe one or two more questions which will still enlighten you, open your eyes, and give you the larger picture of what you're looking at or what you're working on. So think about what is the type of question you want, put a sequence to it, and also watch out for your tone. So there's a way to ask the question. So why are we not getting this? We've been asking it for so long. Or, so why are we not getting that support? Because it's very critical and we need it. I don't know why we are not getting it. So see the difference? So you can ask a question in a very agitated, angry, like a frustrated tone, or you can calm yourself. You can compose yourself. Think through what you want to say. The choice of words is very, very critical when you're asking questions, because then you're leaving room for ambiguity, confusions. People will perceive you as a person who's not very clear in their own head, or somebody who loses cool like that only. So please look for the right tone, right sequence, type your what is the type of question, and frame it properly and ask your questions. And always write down your questions, because then you know what are the questions you have in mind, right? And when you're asking question, then you're more attentive also, because you've asked the question because you want to know. And when the other person is talking, then your attention is right there and you're wanting to grow, right? So the asking questions is very, very critical. We need to again get into that curious zone. And if nothing comes to your mind, just simply start asking why. This 3-letter word, why, is a very important tool. It's a very, I would say, a powerful tool. Why? Why me? Why this project? Why are we doing this marketing campaign? Why? Because when you ask why, then it can be followed by what should we do about it? How are we going to do about it? Where are we going to be doing about it? So then the other questions will come up, but start with why. If you don't know anywhere to start with from asking questions, start asking why. Why this? Okay, why then? Why? So when you start asking this, you are in your own head, you are getting even more motivated, or you're getting more curious to know what is going to be the answer to my next why. And that's a very good trick. So start following that, and then you will see a greater deal of a difference. And also, when you start asking questions, you start building good relations with other people. You start building a good rapport with other people. It helps you in building good relationships at work and even on the personal front. See, would you like to be a person, would you like to be friends with a person who just comes to you at work and says, oh, Sonia, did you know how my weekend went? You know, I went shopping, watched a movie, I went for a nice dinner, I went clubbing, pubbing, and they go on, but they don't ask you, how was your weekend? So would you like to be in that company that the person wants to only share with you, but doesn't even want to ask you anything, which means the other person is not interested in knowing how my life is going, but is only interested in sharing about their own achievement, their own results, right? So there are some people who are very self-obsessed, and you don't like to talk to those people. So imagine if you become that kind of a person who only likes to talk and brag about yourself and don't want to ask questions about that person, then that relationship will not go for very too long. So start asking questions, because then the other person, so if you're going to a conference or any exhibition or any platform where you get a chance to interact with people that you've never met in life, and you would like to know their success mantra, some new learnings that you can take from them, so then start asking them, so I would really like to know, what is your success mantra in life? You've achieved so much as a newcomer who's just starting the career journey, or just starting my work life. Any advice, any tips would you like to give? I would really like to learn. So if you're not going to ask, how will you get those tips, those precious tips that could work for your life too? So please put on that curious hat, because that's very, very critical. We ourselves are like so conditioned. We either are so content, but then you're just starting your career. How can you be so content? You don't need to be so content in life. You need to be curious in life. You need to be seeking answers and not giving answers. Of course, give answers too, but you need to be seeking answers, because there's so much to learn. Why are we, if the company is introducing any new IT platform or any technology that they're introducing, why are they introducing this technology? How is it going to benefit me? What are the other companies? Did they did enough research of the competitors? And the best thing is, when you look at when we join any company, we have the standard operating procedures for everything and anything, right? From taking leave, from attendance, to if we want to interact with other people, if we have to call out for meetings, etc. So there is a process for everything. Customer engagement, sales, marketing, everything. There is a process. Now, when you join as a newcomer, you're an outside person. When you start reading that process, start asking yourself the question, is it the right way? Because see, when a company is making any standard process, they have been so much into it that they will not be able to think like an outsider. But you, as an outsider, when you go and join the company, you should actually reason out, is it the right standing operating procedure? Maybe you can bring some new ideas on table which everybody might like, but how you bring those ideas on table, you need to watchful. People should not take you as that you're trying to be extra smart in saying that whatever they have created is very bad and what you're bringing on table is extra good. So start questioning things, start reasoning out things, because only when you do that, you are on the right path for your own good, for your own growth. You're moving in the right direction then. Otherwise, then, you just killing your time in the company. You're not looking at things in the right perspective. You're not keen on learning new skills and new techniques. So start reasoning, start asking why, or start asking questions, why, where, when, how, etc. I do that all the time. I ask a lot of questions, and when I ask questions, I have a lot of clarity. So even when we are into sales, and if I have to do, like, if any salesperson also has to do a call, right? The salesperson cannot just pitch a product or apartment, or so been in real estate for very long. So for example, if I'm calling a customer and I'm just pitching my project to him or her, and this project is a luxury project of say 3 crores, and I just call the customer and I've not even set the context of knowing what the customer needs, but I'm going on talking about my product, my USPs, my features, etc. to the person. Now the other customer would be like, at the end of the call, they say, okay, fine, I'll get back to you. But what did you get to know about the customer? That was one opportunity you got with the customer, right? But you lost it. You didn't actually show interest in the customer. So instead of doing that, you can simply say, sir, before we proceed further, I'll just take a minute to get to know you a bit, so that I'm able to offer you our best possible space that we can offer in our residential apartment. So where is this only location you're looking for? Are you exploring other locations? How big is your family size? Where do your kids go to school or college? Is it in the proximity range? Do you have any elderlies in the family? Are there any specific amenities that you're looking for? So, but don't go on and on. Max ask 4-5 questions and then make your pitch in a way that you are addressing right the questions first that the customer has in mind, and then position your product. See, it's very, very critical. These are small things, but they go a long way in building meaningful relationships for lifetime. So on that note, please be curious. Please ask a lot of questions, because that's the only way you're going to grow in life. That's the only way you can contribute to your own growth and knowledge. And so I'm going to hope that you're all very curious. You're going to ask a lot of questions. And yes, if you have any questions for me, then you know where to reach out. Just leave a comment and I will respond to your questions. On that note, signing off, Sonia from Thinking Out Loud Thursdays. If you've liked my video, then please do like, comment, and of course, subscribe to my channel. On that note, bye-bye. Have a nice day, everyone.